Good morning. So I had an email inquiry from one of my friends and subscribers, a longtime friend, asking a question about something. And in going through my files, trying to find the file, I also remembered my Time Sports Complete version. So the question had been, did I ever have a single roll system for big country boxing? And of course I do. It is a single roll system round, but it's round by round. It's not an instant results boxing game. But it reminded me that I had my Time Sports Complete book. So those who might remember, I sold this as a 6x9 for a brief time. For about a month, this book was for sale. It was a special, simple, fast, universal system of 7 of the Time Sports games in a universal book. Again, these are compatible with any version. This is certainly compatible with Rodney's history tomes as well for most of the games. But anyway, what it did was it reminded me that I had this a great little version where everything was made universal in the Time engine. So all you needed was the creation charts, the matchup charts, and the off-season charts, and then every game has its own page with a one paragraph set of rules and simple charts to resolve whatever that sport is. So those who are watching know that I'm in my playoff for my 1951 Big Country Football League season. This is game 2, 4-3 Middletown at 4-3 Grand Bay. I thought, wouldn't it be fun to play this game using this version? This paperback is now available on Lulu in a simple saddle stitch black and white book. This set of the games and rules is worthy of a physical copy, so you can get this in a new saddle stitch book, pretty cheap, $7 or something like that. Anyway, so what we need to do, though, we already know the ratings of my team, so we're going to go down here to the matchup chart. We're going to see offense. So Middletown's offense is B versus C. So we're going to look at the matchup chart. B versus C is B. So Middletown will be using the B charts today. Grand Bay is C versus A. Uh-oh, I think Middletown's going to upset somebody. So C versus A is D. Grand Bay has been playing way above their heads all year. Coached by Jones, Grantham is the league's top quarterback with a +3 touchdown ratio. But I don't think it's going to be enough today. So then we go down, and what was cool about this is I made everything universal, meaning you had a simple team creation charts for whatever sport you're doing, your off-season chart for whatever sport you're doing for your career mode. The matchup matrix is identical for every sport in the book, gives you a game grade, and it shows you what offense and defense are for the sports. And then every sport has a simple one-paragraph set of rules and their scoring charts, and that's it. Basketball, boxing. This is what the reason this came up was he was asking about my boxing games. And I remembered that I had a very simple boxing time version in this book. So I also, that reminded me of this. And then football time. So here we go. We're going to play. So again, we know Grand Bay's at home. So first quarter, Grand Bay will get the ball first. Grand Bay using the D charts is going to go 3. They're going to punt the ball. So Grand Bay's top, they're going to punt. Middletown, who should find a way to pull this off now, a 4 is going to get a field goal. So we're going to get a Grand Bay field goal from Ulsa with a field goal, and Middletown is up. Grand Bay, can they do something? 5, field goal for Grand Bay. Norton is going to make this interesting in the first quarter. Middletown's final possession, and they're going to get 3, I believe, is a punt. Yep. So punt, and that's the first quarter gone, folks, and it is 3 to 3. First quarter is gone. Grand Bay back to work in the second one. They're going to turn it over, folks, and it is a fumble loss, so it's going to be Ragsdale. Grantham, no. Fumble lost. Middletown, what do? 4, they're going to take that and get another field goal, so we're going to see another Ulsa. Grand Bay, what a game. Grand Bay 3 is going to punt. And Middletown going into the tunnel before half on the final drive, they're going to end up punting as well. Folks, this is not what I would have expected It is 6-3 at halftime. Grand Bay, very nervous. Hometown fans want to see this game, week 1. Grand Bay won 22-21 in Grand Bay. This is definitely not that scoring. Middletown gets the ball to start coming out of the tunnel after a pep talk. They're going to turn it over, and it is a fumble lost. Oh, Ragsdale. Ragsdale, fumble lost. Grand Bay with a chance to do something. Yep, and they're going to get, Grand Bay's going to get a field goal. What? Norton. It's a field goal fest here, folks, in the playoffs to see who advances to the championship. And, of course, I dropped the die on the floor. Of course, I got this huge desk, and I would indeed do that. Oh, no, Middletown punts. What is going on with these two teams? Grand Bay to wrap up the third quarter. It's going to give another Norton field goal. It's like a damn baseball game. Okay, Ragsdale fumbled. No points for Middle. You got to be kidding me, folks. And Norton makes, can you believe it? Grand Bay's up 9. This is nuts. Grand Bay is up 9-6. Jiminy, Middletown. Can't they score? No, punt. Grand Bay fans on their feet roaring. And it's going to be turnover. Oh, no. Oh, and it's going to be an interception. You got to be kidding me. Grantham, who led the league in TD ratio, is going to throw an interception, his second turnover of the day. That's going to bring him down to a +1 quarterback on the season. Oh, and there it is. Touchdown. Finally, somebody scores a TD. It is a run touchdown for, let's roll to see who. Oh, Tucker, the big fullback. How about that, folks? Tucker gets a run TD. Wow. And last but not least, Grand Bay needs a touchdown. Folks, they have to roll a 6. Nope, it's going to be a punt. And that will be end of game. Wait a second. Oh, yeah. Dang, Middletown is going to be able to take that interception and then 0. So the total here is 13. Wow, 13-9 wraps it up, and that's using the what's called the Time Sports Complete version of the games. It uses universal creation charts, universal off-season charts for every sport, and then a universal matchup chart for every sport. However, every sport has its own rules and its own scoring charts. So, and then what was also cool is I put in this book, every sport in the book has a pre-built league for you to start playing so you can learn how the game functions. It also has an example box score of how the game functions. We got the soccer league. We got the basketball league. We got all the heavyweights rated for this book. So you can immediately jump in and start playing, see how the game works, the football league. And then I get a box score for how a hockey works, the hockey league. And then our Grand Prix teams and how that works. And then there'll be a box score for boxing and how that comes out. And then the Grand Prix, example of how the Grand Prix game plays. This actual version of racing probably is my favorite version of racing. It's fast, but it's so much fun to zip through these games and see the results. Boxing is pretty darn fun in this too. As simple as it is, it comes out very quick. It's very fun. Anyway, and then of course, you saw how I played football time. It is still going to be a possession-by-possession game. So it's a little slower. And then I have a random. You can roll D66 to instantly create teams. So you don't have to roll up offense, defense, and they're special. You can just roll D66 and instantly create teams. So if you were playing, let's say, a soccer team, and every week you wanted to know what soccer team was coming to town, you'd roll this and that would automatically be your opponent coming to town. So you could just roll this every week to see who your team's facing on the schedule, right? And this will work for any of the sports in the book. So this was going to be like this was a way that you could have all the sports, play them very quickly, long term, in a simple rendition where everything had been made universal, so it was easier to understand, and also it saved lots of paperwork. But it also allowed me to do this instant opponent chart. So you could just roll and find out who you're facing this week, or the boxer. I can literally create a boxer and then roll to see who my opponent is this week. Give him a name and then bam, 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 knock out the boxing. So anyway, I decided this is a long forgotten. This was a simple paperback, and it was for sale briefly for about a month. There might have been this or another version of this might have been available free for a while in PDF form. I don't recall if I also had it free in the ebook, but it has since been, I ceased to publish it and share it because I thought it, again, would confuse people as to, they're all compatible. All my time games are compatible. Anyway, in playing with it and goofing around with it, since I found it in my files, I decided to go ahead and make a simple paperback saddle stitch version of this for those who might want to grab this and collect it. Anyway, so now I will update my records, and we're going to have a championship game between the Middletown Stokers and the Coaldale Miners. Coaldale, again, last year, runners-up. They lost the championship to Paradise City. Coaldale 7-1. Facing 5-3 Middletown. And again, Middletown is the highest rated team in the season, but they are not, they do not have the best record. They are a B offense and an A defense, but they have only managed a 5-3. But they're the kind of team that would have been maybe struggled during the year. Something tells me they may find a way to beat Coaldale, and Middletown will earn its second championship in, the last, 3 years. So that could be fascinating. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.